Very good morning. Late tea time podders morning in the UK. Anyway, wherever you are in the world, hope you're having a very lovely day. And it's James and Dave Tindall with you as always. And good to see you, Dave T. How are you?
Hello, yeah, good, thank you. I watched quite a lot of it last night, so I'm in a good position to have a good chat about today and get a few bets.
Yeah, well, it's the memorial tournament that we're looking at, and obviously in full swing. I've been very busy on the T20 Cricket World Cup, working nights and stuff, so I've not actually paid much attention to the golf at all. But I have seen that Scotty Scheffler is leading by some distance, and you can see at the bottom of the screen there, prices ahead of the fourth round. Scotty Scheffler, odds-on favourite to win it. He's got a massive lead, and he's rather good, isn't he? Colin Morikawa 10-1, Adam Hadwin 30s, Xander Schauffele 35s, Ludwig Egerberg is 45s, and the rest are considerably bigger. Just before we get into the prices, DT, I was looking at some there's kind of a bit more footage come out of Scotty Scheffler's arrest. And there's one of them stuck in my mind. I mean, he actually seemed genuinely frightened when he was being arrested, as you would do. And the policeman turned around, or the cop, as they would say in America, turned around in the car and said, if you're playing at this PGA thing, you must be quite good. And Scotty Scheffler in the back seat goes, I am not bad. But I was thinking about the golf kind of landscape at the moment. And it seems that when Scotty Scheffler, in the way he's playing right now, an 80% or better Scotty Scheffler is just better than everybody else, unless somebody has an incredible week and plays above out their skin.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday, he nearly double bogeyed the par five. He had to hold a good putt for a six. And then not long after, he made a triple bogey. And you're thinking, well, are these signs that there's, he's not quite at his best? And yet there's so many good shots in his round that he just wipes that away. So, it's incredible. His strokes gained approach numbers are ridiculously good. He's not quite at his best in some of the other areas, but here we are, 4 shots clear, best players in the world up against him, and he's just making mincemeat of them again. So, I think last week there was a stat when Robert McIntyre was trying to win. What a great story that was. He had a 4-shot lead as well going into the final round. I think that was the 4th time this season a player has had a 4-shot lead. And every time they've gone on to win. Now, if everyone else can go to win with a 4-shot lead, surely Scotty Scheffler will. So, yeah, I think 2-9, that's about the right price, isn't it? I'd be amazed if he doesn't win now.
Yeah, he's rather good, isn't he? Your mate on the piano did a nice little tune for Bob McIntyre to the tune of Mulligan Tire, didn't he?
Yeah, he'd done it before, but he just he's done that one before, but he changed the lyrics to get Bob's dad in there, Doogie, so that was good.
Yeah, nice scenes, wasn't it, on the 18th, and Bob McIntyre won his first PGA Tour title last week, and first of many. He's playing well at the moment, the lefty. So we'll see him again, I'm sure. But I think both of us agree, and probably everybody out there watching, you'd be very brave or mad or whatever the word would be to back against Scotty Scheffler to actually win the Memorial Tournament. A 4-shot lead, best golfer in the world by a distance, in my view, at the moment. Hard to see him getting hauled back in. So how do we play the final round, DT?
Yeah, I suppose he's up against Colin Morikawa, his joint second, 4 back. You think if there is maybe one player who could catch him. I have seen as well, I think it was Bet365, are doing like forecast betting, so you can back Scheffler to win and whoever to come second. So I think the Scheffler win, Morikawa second, was 21-10. It's not an amazing price, but you're almost backing Morikawa just to finish second, I think, in that market. So that could land. But yeah, we're going to look at Acker and a round for Acker as our way into today.
Okay. Well, before you do that, shall we pay tribute to our lovely sponsors of the Late Tea Time podcast? Of course, it is switchwatersupplier.com who sponsor the Late Tea Time podcast. If you're a business and you're looking to save money on your water bills, here's how switchwatersupplier.com can sort you out.
All golfers want to stay away from the water. That splash as your round sinks beneath the surface is never a good sound. But golf courses rely on water to keep those fairways and greens lush. For that post-round shower or the clean glass at the 19th hole, golf courses, indeed most businesses, spend way too much money on their water bills. Switch Water Supplier can cut your water costs and help your business save money. Register now at switchwatersupplier.com. They will do all the hard work and get your business the very best price for your water supply and claim money back if you've been overcharged. Switchwatersupplier.com. Switching made simple.
Indeed, switching made simple with switchwatersupplier.com. Anyway, DT, the ACCA, 4th round ACCA. Let's try and make some money out of the Sunday play at the Memorial.
Okay, yes, as I said, I did watch just about all the coverage last night, so I got to see some of the final groups in action. So that's the ones I've got the best handles on. So we're going to play a fourfold, and it starts at 5:45 UK time, so plenty of time to get your bets on. And the first one is Sung Jae Im to beat Tony Finau. The reasoning here, Im he shot 67 in round 3. That was the low round of the day. That took him up 32 spots to 11th. He's 6th in driving accuracy this week. Not always the case on the PGA Tour that it's that important that you actually hit the fairways, but it is this week. Tony Finau actually did one of those walk and talk things with the ear pods in, and he was saying that exact point. You've got to hit the fairways here. And he's not.
I like that walking around with them. I'm thinking, it's something which they should do more of. I guess you need the players' permission, but it gives you a little bit of an insight, doesn't it?
When they do, I mean, they pick on good people. So they picked Rory a couple of weeks ago, and then they picked Finau, and he speaks great. He's just like such an amiable chap. So he was saying that, and he's probably aware of it because he's not doing it himself. So he shot a 73 on Saturday. And for the week, he's actually 46 out of 52 in driving accuracy. So he's just not hitting the fairways. It's costing him. His putting looks a bit not so great either. So, and finally, I do love Tony Finau. I'm picking up all these sort of bad points here. He's not that good at final round scoring either, 107th in final round scoring. So I think Sung Jae Im with the momentum there can get the better of Tony Finau. So that's leg 1. Second leg, Sahith Theegala, who we've mentioned quite a few times on this podcast, to beat Victor Perez, the Frenchman. Again, it's probably the driving accuracy thing. That's a part of it. Theegala, he's 6 strokes going off the tee, 6th in driving accuracy as well, 7th in approach. Now, he putted poorly, really poorly for the first 36 holes, but he really got it together on the greens yesterday. He was 5th for SG putting yesterday, really vaulted him up the leaderboard. So you add that to his strong long game, and he's playing really nicely. I mean, Perez was really, really good yesterday, but he did only hit 8 fairways out of 14, and I think that will catch up with him if he repeats that kind of slightly errant driving. So I thought Theegala at 10 to 11 was a good bet. Theegala just got a lot more experience at this level on the PGA Tour as well. So that's leg 2. And then we move to 2 of the later games. 6:15 UK time. Xander Schauffele to beat Ludwig Oberg at 5-6. I mean, these are 2 great players, obviously, but I think it's fair to say that Schauffele is the second best player in the world behind Scotty Scheffler at the minute. Won the USPGA on his last start, and he's just started to. He's not had an amazing week, but he's so good. He's up there again. Putting really well this week. That's kept him in the game a bit. I expect the other parts of his game will catch up. Maybe in the final round. He beat Oberg by a shot yesterday, and I just think he can do so again. He's got lots of experience of round 4s at Memorial where it will play tough. So I thought he could get the better of the Swede there at 5-6. And then finally, not often we have a combination of nationalities, but I'm going for an Austrian to beat a Canadian. Sepp Straka to beat Adam Hadwin at 10 to 11. Straka, very, very good yesterday. Shot a bogey-free 68. That was the same as Morikawa. He's 2nd off the tee, strokes going off the tee this week. He's 1st in driving accuracy. So Straka really, really playing well from from the tee. Also hit his irons good, 10th in approach. And Hadwin, although Hadwin's having a really good week, I think he's slightly dining out off his opening 66. He hasn't broken par the last 2 rounds, so I thought Straka was the one there at 10 to 11. So if you put those 4 together, do you want to read them out? Have you diligently taken them down?
I have. I've written it down for my own use later. Sanjay Im to beat Tony Finau, Sahith Theegala to beat Victor Perez, Xander Schauffele to beat Ludwig Oberg, and Sepp Straka to beat Adam Hadwin. The fourfold is...
That pays a fraction over 11 to 1 at William Hill.
Ooh, that's
similar
nice.
prices elsewhere, but yeah, around 11 to 1, 10 to 1, that sort of price.
Okay, lovely. So Sanjay Im, Sahith Theegala, Xander Schauffele, and Sepp Straka, the picks for the late tea time podcast this week. We come different days, don't we? I mean, we always promise you that we're going to come Wednesday or Thursday at the latest, but sometimes our calendars just do not combine very nicely. We may have a problem next week, DT.
It's the US Open next week, isn't it? So we're meant to be on for 5 days.
We always come on for all 4 rounds next week, but it all depends on my cricket. Because I'm T20 Cricket World Cup, I'm doing commentary on that. So I'm going to have to liaise with you to see when we can do that. We might have to do the preview a little bit before when we might usually do it, I think. But we can work that out. We can work that out. But the big one next week, major, isn't it? So any forward fancies for that?
I have written a trends column this week that I put out on X. I'm saying X now, so the Twitter. I've fully converted.
You're so 2024, aren't you?
Yeah. So in that one, I was looking. The 2 players I actually put down as bets were Tyrrell Hatton, who ticked a lot of the trends. He need at the time of recording this to finish joint top of the trends. He needs to finish 12th at that live event that's going on at the minute in Houston. As we speak, with a round to go, he's only 20th. Right. So we'll see how that pans out. But the other one that I did tip in midweek before the Memorial started was Morikawa. I said I predicted him for a big week at Memorial. It is playing out that way. So I put him up at 18s. I don't know if it's come down a little bit maybe so far, but I expect him to. He's having a great year. Basically from the Masters onwards, he's been superb. So although Scheffler's clearly the man to beat again, I think Morikawa is a really good each way bet. So he'd be the one I'm looking at this stage, but obviously more research to be done today.
Going back to where we started, Scotty Scheffler, we agree, is number 1, and everything else points to that. You mentioned Xander Schauffele as being number 2. Probably Collins number 3, would you say?
I'd say on current form, yeah.
And it's all cyclical because we've had, I mean, other than Tiger Woods, who dominated for ages, usually we get a world number 1 that looks invincible, but then something changes. Either they drop or somebody else suddenly finds some form, and it either becomes more nip and tuck or somebody else just takes over it. It will change, won't it? It won't be Scotty forever.
No, you think... I think I was reading today that if he wins today, it will be his 5th win of the season. You think, wow, but then... I think the stats said something like the last player to win 5 times in the season was Justin Thomas. So for a while, Justin Thomas seemed as though he could kick on and be, a world number 1 that might dominate. And they come back, don't they? They come back. Unless you're Tiger Woods, it's more likelihood that you glow brightly for a year or 2, and then maybe something changes, as you say. So we'll see with Scotty Scheffler. I mean, at the moment, he looks incredible, and you think that these numbers he's putting together are amazing, but you just never know. Tiger was a complete one-off. So, but if you are thinking that this is Scheffler's time, you've got to keep backing him, haven't you, in majors and everything, really, because his win rate, he's basically winning more than 1 in 2 tournaments at the minute, which is daft.
And he's short for majors, but even 9-2, 5-1. But if it's a winning 9-2 or 5-1, and you're regularly taking him at that, and he's winning every other week, then you're laughing, aren't you?
Exactly. I mean, basically, what maybe stopped him last time was getting arrested. I mean, that's the lengths that it had to take for him probably to stop winning the US
I was
PGA.
thinking that when I was watching that police stuff this morning, I was thinking if that hadn't happened, he would have won that tournament.
Quite possibly, yeah. You will never know, but every chance that he could have done.
And Xander Schauffele was the beneficiary, wasn't he? I mean, he may have won, as you say, anyway. But on current form, you struggle to see past Scotty in terms of winning tournaments at the moment, and very, very good indeed. I mean, John Rahm for a little bit was looking like he was going to be take over and be number one for a long time, and then he's got distracted with other stuff, and doesn't quite look the same.
Yeah, well, he went to live. It doesn't look like, it's almost like you can, I don't know, who knows what's going on inside his head, but I don't know, if you could put a camera on the wall and pick up everything he's saying, I can sort of picture him going, oh, why have I done that? Kind of thing. But maybe not. Maybe he's counting the money and he's fine. But he did actually limp out of the live event this week. He had a bad foot. So that's just like, if you're thinking of backing John Rahm for the US Open, just beware of that, because he's carrying a bit of a foot problem.
Well, you got a lot of money in the bank. It maybe just dilutes the hunger a little bit, potentially. I mean, Scotty Scheffler's not exactly short of cash, though, is he?
Yeah, it's just, I just think weeks like, I mean, John Rahm has won this tournament. There was that time as well when I think he was 6th clear and got a positive COVID test. So basically, he's almost a 2-time winner of this event. I just wonder in weeks like this where he kind of looks across at what's happening and think, oh, why aren't I playing there? Playing this thing in Houston, 54 holes with music playing, and I'm some comedy team name. I don't know the team names, but I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. I would, if you're such a focused sportsman, I don't know what you make of it. I'd love to know your inner thoughts about. I don't want to sound like
somebody that's stuck in the 1970s or something. But this doesn't look. It looks so tacky. The music and all the kind of the beers swilling around and everybody going rah 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 all the time. That isn't golf to me. I mean, it's golf to the live people, but it's not golf to me.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems strange. It's just, if you've grown. I mean, John Rahm was really into the heritage of the game. He knew all the history. To jump ship to something with no history and all a bit gimmicky, I don't know. I just think it must play with your head a bit.
They use the Donald Trump school of taking photos of crowds as well, don't they? The cameras are always pointing to the 20 people that are there.
Yeah.
Rather than the empty bits on the other side. But anyway, that's enough of knocking of the live stuff. We are looking ahead to the Memorial, and we've had the fourfold. And gamble responsibly, everybody. Sports broadcast media production, as always. And DT, as always, thank you for your time. I will see you next week at some stage.
Yes, we'll thrash it out what we can manage next week, but hopefully we can get on air plenty of times.
And thanks to switchwatersupplier.com for their support of the podcast. And we'll see you next time. Cheers, everybody.
Always gamble responsibly. Visit begambleaware.org for more information.